to become better people, let us understand that this is something that is achieved by working on ourselves, by trying to improve ourselves, by unlearning certain things that might have been harming our mindsets and relearning the good. Okay. So, hey everyone, my name is Popola Jadesova, your favorite media literacy expert. So, what am I here for? I'm here to save us all basically. Sorry, just starting out, so bear with my flaws for now. My impact is to send you a message, not necessarily on how perfectly edited the video is. So I'm a media literacy expert, and what am I trying to do? I'm trying to improve mindsets. I'm trying to improve your mindset, all our mindsets, because it so happens that we are threading a path in our society that is not really benefiting us as a whole. So we need to understand this, and we need to understand also where it's coming from, what is happening, what's being done to us, before we can, now start working on our minds and reversing that which might have been done already. So, I'm a media literacy expert, like I said before. So what I do is I dissect media messages. What is media? Media is all around us. We live in a media saturated world. The movies, the music, the news, the advertising, the posters, everything you're seeing, it is all media. Every single thing is media. So you need to understand this, because we're constantly imbibing that. Your phone, you're constantly imbibing media with your phone. Social media also, it is part of media. So, we are dissecting media on a daily basis for hours at a time, in fact. So we need to understand how it is shaping our minds, shaping our lives, because media is an agent of socialization, okay? And I found I've often had to explain what this means. It means that media, you learn from media, just like your school, just like your family, just like your religious institution. What does your family do? Teach you the basics of life, teach you how to interact as a society, what rules are acceptable or not. What does your school do? Groom you for life, groom you for the things you might choose to become in future. What does your religious institution do? Groom you according to the doctrine of your faith. This is the faith you believe in, and this is what we do according to this doctrine. So what do the three have in common? They teach. They teach you things. The media also teaches. The media also informs. Okay. Now, your most basic example of this is, when you watch the news. You want to know what is happening in your society. So you go to your news channel, you put on the TV, or you go to your phone, you check the news, and then the media has informed you. The media has taught you something about what is going on in your society. Another example of this is YouTube. When you find out something for the first time and you want to learn more about it, you might go to YouTube and search about it, and then watch a few videos, and then you have learned. Then the media has informed you about what it is. So what we need to understand, that we are constantly learning, imbibing things from the media. And also we are imbibing things not only on a mental level, but on a subconscious level as well. Now, this brings me to the three types of communication. There are three types of communication, right? So we have, inter, intra, and mass communication. So intra communication is your thought process, because before you say anything, you must have had it in your mind as a thought. So that is, our thought processes. Intercommunication is your conversation with, another person. You're going from speaker to receiver intermittently. The third is mass communication, which is one message to a group of people, to 1,000 people, 100 people, 1 billion people. That is mass communication, and that is what we are surrounded with, forms of mass communication. The movies, the music, the advertising, all of that forms of media are messages, are forms of communication from one source disseminated to a lot of people, 1,000, 1 million, 1 billion people. So it's one source, but to multiple people. Now also we need to talk about the types of intelligence, because this is quite important, especially when it comes to understanding how we actually absorb these messages. So the three types of intelligence, often we are told that we have, only our minds are intelligent. That is not true. Okay, we have three types of intelligences. Now, first, our minds are intelligent, sure, like we all know. And secondly, our bodies are intelligent also. Our bodies are intelligent creatures on a cellular level. Okay. Then thirdly, our hearts are intelligent. Our hearts are intelligent. Our hearts are not just for pumping blood. Hello. you know, there's even our emotions, like, our hearts are intelligent. We can learn things, we can imbibe things through our hearts, but a lot of people are not aware of this, and this is intentionally done because most of these media messages actually that affect us on a sensory level, that affect our feelings, are sent to our heart. Okay, so they send these messages knowing fully well that you do not understand how it is working, but you're imbibing it anyway. Okay, for example, let me give you an example of that. The latest songs, right? We are always so obsessed with songs in our society. So the latest songs is the latest slang. You hear the latest song, before you know it, everybody is saying it as a slang. You have all consciously or unconsciously imbibed it, and now you are disseminating that. Okay, so it is something that we constantly do. Okay, I'm gonna give you an example. This is a little funny, but I'm gonna state it just to make you understand how it works. you know when Mr. Macaroni was just becoming popular, when the slang "you are doing well" just started becoming popular. Now, I was in Jos at that time, and I went to a pool, and I'm telling you, for the first 5 minutes of when I got there, all I was hearing was "you're doing well." Like, that's literally all I was hearing. Why? Because that was the latest thing at that point. You get me? And it was a trend. And it was suggestive to, like, the shape, because he would say it to girls who are endowed and stuff like that. So, like, they had unconsciously imbibed that, and they started saying all of that because they had imbibed it. They thought it was cool, because that's how they get you. Actually, they make you think it's cool, they make you think it's trendy. So they thought it was cool, and then they were now imbibing it, and then they started saying it. It became a part of them. So that is what happens to people. Like I said, like the song thing also is this exact same thing. You hear something you think is cool, you watch something you think is cool, you now imbibe it into your life, into yourself, thinking that is cool. But that is not actually helping you in any way at all. Please, you have to understand this. Now, this particular video, this is basically like an intro, okay? So this particular video, we're actually talking to the males, to the guys, okay? Now, ladies, you can watch this as well, of course. You can talk to your guy friends about it and stuff like that. But, like, this video mainly talks about guys, especially in our younger generation, okay? So before I start, I'm just going to give you a picture of what a guy, or what a man, I'm not going to use the word guy, what a man is meant to be, what God created a man to be, okay? So God created you in a, leadership position, sure, but not as a tyrant. God created men to be protectors, to be providers. We are created in the image of God, both male and female, both of us. But we have different characteristics of God. Some merge, some are in both of us, but some are particular to one or another. Okay, so we are made in the image of God. So God is a provider. God is a protector. God loves us all. God is someone who cares for us. God is someone who, though he has his rules, certainly, but he wishes and wants the best for every single one of us. And that is what a man is meant to be. That's what a woman is meant to be too, but also with some other things as well. But that is what a man is meant to be. Not a tyrant, not somebody who misuses whatever, they think they have, but being dependable, being responsible. That is what God made a man to be. Okay. So, and you find that there are actually many men like this. But you find, lately, or should I won't say lately, because the devil has always been trying to use people the wrong way. But, you find more and more people imbibing the wrong mindset. Okay, now remember, we're talking to guys. Okay, so I have a video for ladies as well, because this is affecting everybody. But, in this particular video, we're talking about guys. So, first of all, since the beginning of time, now there's God, there's a devil, right? I am speaking from a believer's point of view because I am absolutely certain that there is God. You know, there's a difference between going to church because your parents say, let's go to church, and then going to church because you know that God is real. Okay, so that's where I'm at. So now, we imbibe, okay, I was getting to, a lot of men are actually good. There's some good people, okay, but more and more people are imbibing the wrong mindsets. Okay, and this is because the devil has been trying to use people from the beginning of time. Okay, from the beginning of time, it's not a new thing that he's trying to use people. The media is just his latest way of, because the media can be used for good or bad also. I have to put this in there because the media is not all good or all bad. What makes a media message good or bad is the content within. What message is it sending? That is what determines whether it's good or bad. The media is a tool. It's a tool for either the good side or the bad side, but it's just there's an overwhelming amount of bad. That's where the problem comes in. So okay, but anyways, it's a tool. It's either good or bad. So the devil has been trying to use people. So the media is just his latest way of doing that. Okay, and I'm sure it's his favorite way as well, because it's so easy. You attack without even firing a shot. Now God is far more powerful than the devil will ever be. The devil has lost already. He just wants to make sure that you lose too. That's just it. He just wants to make sure that you lose too. Now the media has played a very dangerous part, damning part, in hardening the male mind, okay, in trying to make them the opposite of what God intended. Now, I've always said this: Americans are the first victims of this. Americans are the first victims. So if you really want to see the trajectory, go and study American lives, not what they show you in the movies, but their actual lives. So okay, but anyways, let us move to understanding what is being done, right? So they try to harden the male mind, and this okay. How do I? Okay, let me start with this. The devil's ultimate goal is division. Look, I say the devil, and I notice that people get uncomfortable because they place him as powerful. He's not. He has lost. He's a loser. He's an evil liar. That's all he does. All he has in his arsenal are lies. That's all he has been using to get people since the beginning of time. Like, just think of Adam, the devil and Eve. How did he deceive Eve? Was it not through lies? That's all he has. Don't you understand that? So you need to get that. So like he has been using this tool to try to harden the male mind, right? And what he does, it starts from, because I have decided to section this into 4 parts, okay? But you have to know that the ultimate goal of the devil is to cause division. To cause division. Because he knows that God is united. God is one. All the children of God, they are all one. Every single, the family of God is one. So what he tries to do is cause division. Try to make you view yourselves as separate. Try to make you not like each other. Try to cause division. Try to cause hatred. Try to cause strife. That's what he tries to do. Okay. And remember, the devil was once an angel. So he's very smart. Of course, he will never be as smart as God. Of course not. But he's also very cunning. So you must understand that. So what he does, now, like I said, I'm breaking this down into 4 parts. So it starts with the early stages, right? Now, the devil is attacking marriage seriously, relationships seriously, because like I said, he wants division. So he does not want that image of God. Like I said before, the image of God is male and female. And especially if you are in a godly relationship, you find out that in fact, it's one of the most beautiful things ever. So that image of God, male, female, with God in the relationship, is something very powerful. Something very powerful, a great mystery, in fact. And the devil does not want you to realize this. Okay? He does not want you to even know this. So he wants you to just view it as a game, as fun, as something that is unnecessary, basically, or something you just play around with. So he's really attacking relationships, and he has done this honestly because even the Bible calls him the most subtle of all the creatures of God. What does it mean to be subtle? To be clever, to do things in a very sneaky way. That is what it means. Now, okay, it starts from the beginning, right? How has he tried to create division between the male and the female? Because that's what it's driving to at the end of the day, to make us see each other as separate, to put a wedge between the both of us. Because he knows that us united is something absolutely fantastic that he cannot destroy. But he does not want you to know that. So like it starts from the younger age, right? The formative years. Let's say a child is from 0 to 7, 8 years. Okay. Now you find that even the interest and okay, one thing I've listened to people say is that men are emotionally stunted. That if it's a man that's saying this now, that men have to learn to love their wives. Men have to really learn to grow to love their wives because they are not emotionally well developed. You get, and now this happens for a reason. And as I stated this, I just went back to because God just does everything perfectly. But this happens for a reason because emotional cognizance, emotional intelligence can be developed. It is developed. You have a female when she's young, she's playing with dolls, she's playing with like Barbie, this that. She's developing relationally, she's developing emotionally. Okay, she's developing relations. She's playing with the doll, she's seeing the doll like a child. She's developing emotionally. But you have what they turn the male interest to is guns, violence, trucks, things that don't help them grow emotionally at all. Things that even promote violence in their minds. Why should a gun, why should something that could kill someone be turned into a toy in the first place? Why is it that they are choosing to give your children as toys? Why is it those sort of video games that they are choosing to make your children play? Let us gain wisdom. So so they start with the from the formative years, trying to they desensitize even the male mind from that stage because those years are very important. Our basis as a human being, our emotional connections, how we relate to others are really formed during those periods. It's not when we are adults that we start doing that. It's when we are children. So like they intentionally warp that so that they are deadening the male mind, so to speak. They are deadening the male emotions, or they make them attach. This is one thing I've noticed that the media tries to do. They make them attach emotions to inanimate things or really unimportant things like their cars, football, betting things. Betting is just the latest example I can see is running everybody crazy these days. But like they try to make them attach their emotions to things that ultimately will not benefit them or things that are just materialistic. So like we need to understand this. Now, so that's the first way that they try to you know, damage the male mind, right? So the second way they try to do that is when it comes to platonic relationships. Now, like I've said, they separate the interest, right? So like they make, they fashion things that appeal to guys and fashion things that appeal to girls, but they don't give that room for connectivity on the playground. You get me? So and that's done intentionally because like I said, the devil is behind all this. And if there's nobody that is as sneaky as the devil, I assure you, no matter how smart you think you are not as smart as he is. Only God has overcome him. So understand that only God gives victory over the devil. Understand that. So like he does what he does sneakily and smartly. So you have to understand that we have been given wisdom, heavenly wisdom that overcomes him, certainly. We have to understand that it is only heavenly wisdom that overcomes him. So now back to the second way, right? So they now try to make it difficult because our interests have been separated, right? Or they try to separate the interests. They now make it difficult for the male and female to merge together on a purely platonic basis. like just being friends, like just casual friends. Because the devil wants it that it is only on the sexual platform, and not even the right way sexually, but a sinful way sexually, that you come together. So like he wants to, that platonic relationship, he wants to make it more and more weird for you to say, okay, this is just my, friend that's a guy, no issues. This is just my friend as a girl, no issues. They want it to be only that, male female, relationship that's not even married, because the devil opposes marriage, like I said before. All of this is doing just to make sure that you eventually don't want to get married to each other. So like, you know, they cause issues when it comes to platonic relationships. Now, personally, my best friends have always been guys, always, like since I was in primary school. So like I've always had a close bond with the male, species. But I understand that it's not everybody that's like that. Most females are not like that. Most females hang out with other females. So it causes a division, so to speak. And that should not be. We should be interacting on a platonic level constantly. So guys, what just this advice I'm going to give you: get some more platonic female friends. Get to understand the type of partner that you want to have for the rest of your life with. Because if you're having just females only on a relationship level, like a sexual relationship, you won't really understand, because you are being made to even attach so many wrong things to even that relationship. So you need to like be more, be friends with more females. Ladies, be friends with more guys platonically. Like it does not have to be a relationship thing. You can have your person already, and you have your friends, like just a friend. So they try to cause that division. You find that rare these days. You find like girls and guys interacting on just a platonic level. You find it rare. It's mostly only relationships that make them attached. Is it? And that's wrong. That's not what God intended. God intended a relationship to only be for marriage, not just to be dating anybody willy-nilly. So like we should have more platonic relationships. Now, the third way that they try to influence the male mind is when it comes to being vulnerability. They try to make males feel like they should not be vulnerable at all. They try to make them imbibe this sort of macho, attitude, that even if you are in a relationship, like, and there's this song lyric. It was like, one thing my dad told me was never let your woman know when you're insecure. Like, and that's such bullshit, because obviously he wrote that lyric for a reason. Even if you don't understand what's being done, they that are doing it know what their agenda is. So like you need to understand that they want to make you feel like it is not okay for you to be vulnerable, that it's not okay for you to have feelings, and that's bullshit, because you're a human being. Like living your life that way will only make you repressed, angry, for no reason. They try to make you feel like you should not expose your vulnerable side, that you should only act tough, just be acting tough, macho man. Like you need to understand that for you to connect the way that God intended with your opposite gender, which is what God intended, because God saw man, God made everything right. God saw man by himself and said, "This is not good." If it was just companionship, it could have made another man. If it was just companionship, it could have been two men in the garden instead of one man, one woman. But God makes everything for a reason. God makes everything for a purpose. So understand this. Like, just for you to be able to connect really with your opposite gender, which God intended, you must learn to be vulnerable. You must learn to I can even say insecure. You can learn to be insecure with the person that you love, that single person. I'm not saying you should be insecure to the whole world, but you have to learn to be vulnerable to connect with people. You can't be hiding your emotions, bottling your emotions, and because they're emotions, you cannot really hide them. You cannot really bottle them. So it now comes out in other ways, like anger, depression, drinking, all of that. It now starts to exhibit itself in all those ways. You must learn to be vulnerable. You must learn to be able to express your emotions. That does not make you weak. That does not make you less than. We all have emotions, and bottling them will not help you. Now, the fourth way that they try to damage the male mind is by making them think that they can be promiscuous. Okay, they try to make you think that you can just sleep with anybody because you're a guy. That's the most foolish thing that you can ever accept in your life. And they try to do this for girls too. I'm not saying that girls don't cheat. Oh, I'm not saying that. But like they are really trying to promote it on the male, gender. They're trying to deceive you by thinking that okay, you're a guy. I remember it's the devil that's trying to do all this. It wants to make it impossible for you to have that connection. Like I said, it wants to make it impossible for you to please God. It wants to even make you choose not to please God. Look, we have to be very careful. Like I said, it's very cunning. We have to be very careful. If you read Proverbs was written mostly by Solomon, right? This guy had, like let's say 1,000 women. And at the end of the day, he kept warning men about women, about just sleeping around. And if you read Proverbs, almost half of Proverbs is warning men not to sleep with the wrong woman. Is warning men not to follow the wrong woman. Be careful. You can't just sleep with anyone. Sex is a covenant. Understand this. You can't just sleep with anybody. Don't let the devil deceive you that because you're a man, you have the money, you can just do whatever you want. Don't let them deceive you. They've been deceiving you already. Unlearn. Remember, we are here to unlearn some negativity and relearn the positive. So, like, understand this. They try to make you think that you can just be promiscuous. And especially this skits, all the skits, the movies, the songs, they are promoting it, making you think that it's cool. Making you think that it's cool. I remember the devil is the one using this. It's his tool. The devil has the resources to do this, and he is doing it. It's not a maybe issue. So understand. Those people that are behind this, that the devil is using, they are not hiding what they are doing. They are not hiding what they are doing at all. Let me make this quote for you. It's by Sydney West. It said, to play on those millions of minds, to watch them slowly respond to an unseen stimulus, to guide their aspirations without their knowledge. All this, whether in great capacities or in humble, is a big and endless game of chess, of ever extraordinary excitement. Okay? So they are literally calling your life a game. They're literally calling your existence a game. That no matter how they get to influence you, it's just a game. Gain wisdom. The ultimate creation, the ultimate agenda of a man and a woman is to be united as one, not to view the other as, a toy, not to view the other as an ATM machine, but to be together genuinely. Let us understand. Let us gain wisdom. Let us gain wisdom. That is the only way out of this. Whenever you're watching those movies, listening to those songs, those advertising, those are your Xbox and all that, your games that you're playing, try to reason at the back of your mind that what is this teaching me? Try to understand that what is this telling me, even though it might be funny, even though it might be intriguing, even though it might sound cool. What is it teaching me? And then you will start to understand really that they don't want your good. They don't want to promote that which is good for you. That's why they're telling you all those negative things. So you must learn to detect them so you can, be aware of it so that you can equip your mind against it. May the Lord grant us all wisdom, right? So these are the various ways that it tried to damage the male mind, and they're trying to. It's continual. It's a gradual process. Like I said before, Americans are the first victims. And if you raise a group of irresponsible men, that grow up, give birth to children, those ones grow up, now have no idea because your father gives you a sense of identity. Okay? Now I don't have the time to explain this to you, but this is something that is already damaging lives. It's not it is already damaging lives. Let us understand this. And may the Lord help us to be more wise, to be more discerning, and to be more aware of what is right. So I am Popola Jalisola, and I will see you next week. Take care.